Today we're going to talk about madness. Now there's a thing. Run the intro. The family court over the course of the last year or two has been making some decisions and making some changes in how it runs in order to improve itself. Unfortunately, in my opinion, none of those improvements have actually achieved their objective. In fact, they've actually made the family court harder to access if you're not legal representation, so if you're not a solicitor or a barrister. And what I think people forget is that the purpose of the family court is to serve us as normal people, to provide a service to us as normal people. But currently it's making itself quite inaccessible, and I've talked about inaccessibility of the family court before, but today I'm going to talk about something called bulk scanning and something called the portal. Let me explain. If I'm working on a case, and as part of that case, let's call it a divorce matter. And as part of that divorce matter, I need to make a submission to court. So I need to send to court some documentation that is going to assist my party, my client, whoever I'm looking after, is going to assist their case. So in divorce, that might be bank statements, it might be mortgage details, it might just be a written statement to explain a set of circumstances or to explain a history, whatever. But it's a written or printed submission. Now, currently, the court has introduced in finance matters a mechanism called the portal. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll note that the problem with the portal is that in order to be able to access it, in order to be able to put stuff on it and look at stuff in it, you have to be legal representation. So you have to be a solicitor or a barrister. So immediately, those of you who are conducting yourself as a litigant in person, or conducting yourself as a litigant in person supported by a McKenzie friend, you have no access to the portal. And I have written confirmation from a number of separate courts that as a litigant in person or as a McKenzie friend, you have no access to your case file. There's an interesting point. So you can't get into the portal. You can't put stuff on the portal. So how do you get to it? Well, I'll tell you how you get to it. With some courts, you email the court and they will put it on the portal for you. But that system is not widespread. Some courts will do it, some courts will not. Most courts tell you these days that you must use the bulk scanning facility. Now, let me explain to you what that is. That is a department who are based in Harlow in Essex, and what they do is they receive paper copies of documents that are going to be placed on the portal. They scan them and then they put them on the portal against the correct case reference, and then the paper version that they've obviously still got in their hand, we presume that they recycle that. Let's just follow the logic of that for a minute. So I'm in here in my office and I have written a document on behalf of my client, and some of those documents can run to hundreds of pages. And what the court is currently asking me to do, rather than access an electronic, paper-free storage system, the portal, what they're asking me to do, because I'm an outsider, because I'm not legal representation, they're asking me to run to the cost of printing off that document. So let's print off those 300 pages, which is not unusual. Let's print off those 300 pages immediately, using paper, using ink, using somebody's time, running up cost, impacting on the environment where we're printing something unnecessarily. And then let's post it, immediately introducing risk that it could go missing, and introducing an element of insecurity, because there's nothing secure about any of the postal systems, regardless of what they say. There's still an element of human error that says they're going to lose it. But you're going to post it, more cost, packaging it up, getting down to the post office or to the courier or wherever it may be and getting it posted off, more cost. And it's going to arrive down at Harlow at the bulk scanning, and they're going to unpack it, and then they're going to scan it, and then they're going to upload it to your case, providing they upload it to the right case. And then your 300 pages that you printed 4 or 5 days prior, they're then going to recycle those 300 pages. How pointless is that? Because that is, instead of using the technology that we have had available to us for years now, whereby we can load those 300 pages onto a transfer link and just send that link into the court and say, open this link, stick this on the portal, job done. All of that happened in a matter of minutes. What the court has decided to do is essentially go backwards. Essentially go backwards to a paper-driven system where they are asking people outside of the legal representation service, outside of solicitors and barristers, to revert to printing documents at extortionate cost, posting them, running the risk of them going amiss, in order to have them scanned and placed on a portal. That is regressive. That is going backwards. That has nothing to do with progress or improving the efficiency of the family court. That is introducing risk. That is introducing insecurity. That is introducing inefficiency. And I just don't get the logic of that. But I was in a hearing very recently where the judge had not received the bundle. The bundle being the document, which might be multiple hundred pages. The document which contains all of the bank statements and mortgage declarations, etc., that are part and parcel of a divorce matter. And the judge hadn't received that bundle, and I was responsible for preparing that bundle, and I had prepared it. We had received a lot of the information late, so we were only preparing it 3 days before the hearing, which is fine. That's okay, publishing 3 days prior. I had sent that bundle on a transfer link purely because I knew I would not have time to print the 300 pages off, send it down to Harlow, and have any guarantee at all that was going to arrive on the portal in time for me to attend that hearing. Consequently, I emailed the court and said, here's a transfer link. Here's the bundle. It's on a transfer link. Drop it on the portal. The court emailed me back the next day lost, to say, we don't accept transfer links. What you'll have to do is send it to bulk scanning. I email them back and say, I haven't got time to send it to bulk scanning. Also, I don't really have the inclination to send it to bulk scanning. But I don't have time to send it, given that the hearing is now in 2 days' time. They then contact me again and said, in which case you'll have to send the bundle to us as a PDF. I immediately responded, well, that's great, but, and here's one of the other issues that we have in the family court, is that when you're emailing the family court, they have data limits. So the documents that you send them can only be so big, or indeed so small, depending which way you look at it. And a bundle runs to a massive data file, and you can't email that to the court. So I then email the court and agree with them that what I'm going to do is break that bundle down into 6, count them with me, 6 mini bundles, and email those one at a time in order that they can get past the data limit email and then be uploaded to the server. And I absolutely knew that was not going to work. And guess what? I walked into that hearing 2 days later, and the first thing the judge said to me was, why have I got 4 mini bundles? And I said, well, issue number 1, judge, is you should actually have 6. Well, why have I only got 4? Why are there 6? Why isn't there just 1? And then you explain it to the judge, the whole issue of portal, the whole issue of bulk scanning, and they just look at you blankly and say, well, that's the system. You've got to work the system. But the system is inefficient. The system's dreadful. The system doesn't work. So I'd like to thank the family court for imposing extra cost, extra time, and extra impact on the environment by introducing this ridiculous system whereby documents are printed off and sent to a bulk scanning centre before they're actually then introduced electronically, because the bulk scanning centre then uploads it into the court file. The most ridiculous thing I have ever done is very recently I sent a statement. It was a one-page statement in a finance matter to the court, and they refused to upload it to the bundle because they said they don't do that. They asked me to print it off and send it to bulk scanning. I sent one page of A4 by post to bulk scanning in Harlow in order that they could scan it and upload it into the portal. That, my friends, is ridiculous. And that is what we're dealing with here. See you again.